What's up, collectors? We're back again for another review today, and today we're gonna be taking a look at a figure that I actually forgot I had in my collection. I was going through some of my boxes and I saw this figure, and I was like, "Oh!" I thought it was already open. I thought it was an empty box, and when I lifted it up, I felt a little weight to it. So when I checked it out, and I forgot the figure was still in there. So of course, this is gonna be the Threezero Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones season 7. If you guys have not seen this show, don't know what's your problem, because this is an awesome show. There's a lot of controversy in the show, a lot of graphic things in the show, and a lot of cool characters in the show. If you guys don't know, this is where one of the shows that the actor who plays Mando made it kind of big in that show as the Viper, cool character. But anyways, Jaime Lannister, he's a character that starts off as kind of like a bad guy, turns good guy, bad guy, to back and forth, ways back and forth. Sometimes you like him, sometimes you can't stand him. And then I'm pretty sure towards the end of the season, no spoilers for anybody, for the few people who probably haven't seen the show yet, in the end, he's going to make you hate him again. The way it is, the last season, the last season wasn't as good as it should have been. He was part of the reasons why it wasn't that good, because of the actions he did towards the end. But anyways, let's get this guy out the box and let's get this review started. Dale. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box before we get the figure out. Now, one thing I did notice as I got the box in hand, you don't really see it when it was spinning, but if you can see real close here, there is an embroidered design there. That's the Lannister line, as you can see there. And then you can actually read it right here. It says, "Hear me roar, Lannister." So that's pretty cool. A little hidden there. You only get to see it at a certain angle. So anyways, let's continue with the box. You got the Game of Thrones there. Jaime Lannister, Season 7, 1/6 scale action figure, collectible figure. The Threezero logo right there. Nothing much on the side. Just more of an emblem. Same thing on the back end. More of the emblem. And then right here you get all the legal information. HBO. And then right in the top, Game of Thrones. Now also, if you go ahead and take the slip cover off, you are greeted with a window, so you can actually see the figure there. You get a good idea of what you're going to have in the box. You can see the sword and everything back there, the cape. Can't see the character too good because of all the plastic covering them. But yep. So you get that in a slip cover, and then in the back, oh, it's open already. Let's go ahead and close that real quick. And then in the back, you get the "Hear Me Roar, Jaime Lannister." And this is the actual logo that you see embroidered onto the actual box in the front. All right, cool box. So let's go ahead and get this guy out the box. Now, once you get the figure out the box, this is what you're greeted with on a clamshell. And then let's go ahead and get the first part of the clamshell removed. And you are greeted with Mr. Lannister right here. So I'm just going to go ahead, pull him out real quick just to get the plastic out. And here we go. So the top clam basically has Jaime there with his two hands, swappable hands. And then on the bottom clamshell, you got all the other things. You got the cape, his dagger, his two swords, his belt. And then below that, you have the instructions and your warranty sheet. All right, so let's go ahead and get him, along with everything that he comes with, out. So you can take a better look at everything he comes with in the box. With the figure out the box and all the accessories, you can see everything he comes with. And it's, a decent amount. These figures from Threezero are not that expensive, so, they're below the $200 price range, so I don't expect as many accessories, but this is what you get. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure first. And let's look at the detail. Now, when I first saw this, from the promo pictures, I didn't think it looked like Jaime Lannister that much, but in hand it actually looks better. Not only that, the detail that he did for the stubbles right here, he had gray stubbles throughout his hair and his beard. The paint they actually did on here looks pretty good. So in hand, it does look like Jaime Lannister. Those promo pictures, they're not as much. One thing I think, if I remember correctly, his hair was a little more blonder when it was earlier in the season. So remember, this is later in the season, this is season 7, so his hair is darker now. So it looks good. To me, the head sculpt looks good. Like I said, it looks a lot better in person. In hand. Alright. So let's go ahead and look at the rest of the suit. Now, I love the detail they did on the actual armor. You can see like all the indentations, all the rivets and everything on there. And that's one thing with Threezero. Like, I admit, you know, I'm a big Threezero fan, but sometimes their face sculpts, when it comes to like the actual human or face sculpts, they're not the best. When it comes like the anime stuff like that, they usually knock them out the park. So when it comes to like the human head sculpts, they're either hit or miss. But one thing they're always good at is the attention to detail, like all the detail they put on the armor. As you can see, they're going across the shoulder pads. On the chest, we have. Let's put this my camera a little bit lighter just so I can see more of the detail on here. There we go. Even right here on the chest plate, you can see some kind of inscriptions there. The shoulder pad, or the elbow pads. You got the line on there. Look at the detail on the golden hand. See, when this happened to Jaime in the show, this is when I started feeling bad for him and I started liking him. But then at the end, man, I don't know why he did that for. But anyways, well, I know why, but silly. So you see all the detail, even here in the gold parts right here, and how it's basic plain there. Then you go all the way down, and you can see the boots. Boots a little plain, but that's normal. No treads, but you do see the soles on there. The HBO and Threezero logo there. Alright. So there goes Jaime. It looks like Jaime. And this is the accessories are quick. So he does come with 2 swappable hands. He has this one as somewhat of an open hand. This one's to hold the sword. And this is the closed fist. Then let's go ahead and take a look at. It says knife in the thing. It's more of a dagger to me, but it says knife. And as you can see, the attention to detail right there. It has a little line there also. It's not metal, it's plastic. Pretty good paint on there. As you can see, the metal has like some kind of shine, some kind of gloss there. And then this is the sheath for it. You can see the detail on there also. Beautiful. This is a hard plastic, so it's not pleather, nothing to worry about. And that just slides right in there. There we go. There you go. And then you have a sword. Same thing, plastic, just painted metal, metallic. It has dents on there, so that's pretty good weathering. This is actually not a gem, it's actually painted. It's part of the plastic, so look, that's pretty good painting right there. You see the detail on the hilt. Same thing here. And then this one, the sheath actually comes attached to his belt. Now Threezero, sometimes like they'll include these figures with the belt attached already, like on the figure. Sometimes they have you do it yourself, so it could be a pain sometimes. So we'll find out in a few. So here's the sheath right there. There's a nice little pattern on there. You can see it real good. There you go. Little pattern it has on there. And then same thing with the sword and the dagger and the knife. I mean, goes right into the sheath like that. And there you go. Then I don't know if this is a mistake or not, but this one comes with 4 extra wrist pegs, which I don't know why you would need 4 when you only swap out 2 hands. So I don't know if this is a mistake, or just let me know if someone has this figure, if they have the same thing for extra wrist pegs. The good thing is I keep this one in the package and still keep it like somewhat new, and I can just use these for my other ones. Actually, my Saitama regular version wrist peg broke, so I gotta remove it and put this one on. So I should put one of these to the side so I can do that after the review. So you get 4 extra wrist pegs, and then you get the cape. Now the cape has these hooks that you have to latch on to the back of him. Right here. Or where was it at? I don't know, somewhere in the instructions. I'll look at the instructions in a minute. But supposedly this attaches somewhere onto him. The cape is pretty good. Feels like a good material. The only negative is it's not wired. So there's no wiring going across the cape. Just a regular reddish, beigeish cape. All right, so there you go. Let's look at articulation real quick. So the head does move sideways. You are hindered because of the chest piece of the, I'm sorry, bring this up a little bit. There we go. Hindered because of the collar portion of his armor. You could put the head up more to kind of get more articulation. He could look about that much down. This much up. Not basically up at all. The arms. Now, all right, so one thing real quick. The suit, unfortunately, is pleather. So there's going to be a lot of conditioning going on here. So I'm not sure if it's going to be worth, like, kind of keeping it his arm, elbow bent, because it is putting some kind of, it's going to put creases on that pleather. So it's going to be a tough guy to pose in my display. I gotta figure out a way to do it where I don't want to cause too much damage to the suit. But anyways, the arms can go further up, but as you can see here, you're hindered because the cloth on the suit underneath his armpit. So you can't go much further up. Elbows do bend. So not only that is the fact that it's pleather, the pleather is hindering some of the articulation. All right, so you can get that. Same thing with going upwards. As you can see here, I can't really put the arm too far. You can kind of try to push on this right here on the armpit to kind of give you more. There you go. You could do that. So if you do that, you would get a little bit more articulation going upwards. So you got to kind of pull on the armpit going upwards. And this is basically the best T-pose that Jaime would be able to do for you. Let me see what you get. You get pivot at the bicep. The wrist is a split cut. The glove is a split. So you get articulation right there at the wrist. The sleeve portion of the gloves do move too, so that's good. I'm pretty sure you don't get no waist articulation because of the armor. Oh wait, no, you do. So you could twist them side to side. Does get waist articulation. A little bit ab crunch, not much. Just bring this down a little bit more. There we go. A little bit ab crunch, not much. Nothing going back. So no limbo nights for Jaime. All right, so this part is malleable right here. This portion, let me bring it light back up a little more. There we go. So just gotta be careful of that. This is not wired, but you could mess with it. You could bend it at certain positions, and it will keep the bend. So you could do some kind of like wind poses. And if you lift all this up underneath, you have regular cloth pants. And then, let's see, we can bring this up right here real quick. So you see, the legs do get a lot of good articulation. So Jaime can do a split. He could do the split. I'm pretty sure up here you have the same articulation. It's just the fact that you have the pleather suit under stopping it. You get pivot at the thighs. Yeah, boy, the thighs. All right, and then you go all the way up. Let's see. Yep. So he can, and then you get double jointed knees. So this is always good. See, so this tells me right here that the body underneath does have good articulation. It's just the fact that the suit above, which would make sense because things in medieval times, I'm pretty sure it was hard to move up here. Like, all this armor on, whatever. I'm pretty sure they stank too. Like, it was like, when they sweated and everything. Ooh, that smell stood under there. Yeah, so you get good articulation at the knees and the legs. The boots, same thing, split cut. So you can get articulation here. You get pivot. You can go forward that much. Well, this way. Go down that much. So Jaime does have awesome articulation from the waist down. From the arms articulate good. It's like I said, mostly it's just the suit. The suit is hindering it. All right. So now you look at articulation. Let's go ahead and get him with some size comparison. There we have Jaime doing his best. John Cena, you can't see me, but better with the golden hand. Try and put that bling up there. So, all right. So let's get a size comparison real quick. So let's go ahead and bring in another Threezero and another figure in the same Game of Thrones lines. Let's go ahead and bring in a White Walker. There we got the White Walker next to Jaime. Let's fix it. Oop, I knew it. I felt that these White Walkers, the ankles are a little bit loose, so you got to be careful with these guys. I had a feeling. The minute I walked away, I had a feeling. All right. So let's go ahead and bring in a Hot Toys figure, and let's do the Hot Toys PlayStation Miles Morales. And there we have Miles along with Jaime and the White Walker. So there you go. You have a good size comparison of a figure with two different lines and one from a taller figure in that same line. So you can get an idea of how the figure looks in your collection if you want to compare it to any figures you have in your collections currently. All right, so let's go ahead and get him set up for size. I'm redoing size comparison, final thoughts, and final poses. I just want to go over something about the cape real quick. All right, so the cape, if you see there's a clip there, and the instructions say you're supposed to attach that clip. You can see it. It's real under there. It's like the third stitch on the actual suit. You're supposed to attach a clip there. I don't know about you, but I don't feel comfortable putting a clip on a stitch. So what I am going to do is, if you look real close right here, you'll see that that's the attachment that attaches the shoulder pads to the suit. I'm going to attach this to that clip, to that right there, instead of the stitch. I'm not trying to mess up my suit, so I'm showing you guys how I'm putting my cape on. And then real quick on the belt, according to the instructions, you have the buckles here. You have to stop at the 8th buckle. Once you stop at the 8th buckle, you put this clip into there. And then you take the belt, put it under, and then over, and then pull it. All right, so I just want to let you guys know how you put the accessories on before we go to the final thoughts. There we have Jaime sharing a drink with his brother Tyrion. Maybe they're celebrating a victory. Maybe they're kind of coming up with their next scheme. I don't know. But these two guys, you never know when they're together. You never know which one you can trust and which one's being truthful. But as Jaime, the figure by himself, he's a good figure. He's a lot better than I thought he's gonna be. I mean, the only negatives I could see is the lack of articulation in the upper shoulder area, just because the shoulder area and arms, because of the suit, and with all that pleather being on there, I can see that if you live in a humid, environment, or environment where the climate changes drastically, I can see that maybe possibly being an issue if you don't treat it beforehand. And then when you do treat it, it depends what you normally use. I use something called leather honey. It's more of like a conditioner. The reason I use that more is because with that conditioner, it doesn't matter if you get it on other fabrics or other part of accessories. It won't cause damage or any kind of bleach dyeing, or there's no dye in the conditioner, so it won't cause any color changes or anything like that. At least in my experiences so far, it hasn't happened. But I'm definitely gonna use that for this figure right here. You got to make sure you do the suit on top, and then also I forgot to mention that this pleather that holds the sheaths for the sword and for the knife, the part that holds the sheaths together, like the straps right there, and then the other portion on the knife is pleather, so you gotta make sure you condition that too. Yeah, the figure, like I said, it looks like Jaime in hand. I like it in hand a lot more than I did in the promo pictures. The hair sculpt looks a lot better in hand. Also, he looks good with his brother Tyrion. I love this right here. This is one reason I was kind of happy to get Jaime. At first, I was gonna hold off on the Lannisters. Like, I don't want the Lannisters, man, because they annoyed me in the show. But then, I was like, all right, well, there's another character. I'm gonna do my next final pose, and I'm gonna have her in there too. That she was a big part. Jaime and her had a big roles together, so that's another reason why I was like, all right, maybe I'll just get Jaime, because Jaime and Tyrion, the brothers, gotta have the brothers together. And then, the other character I'm going to use next in the next final pose, you're going to understand why too. So I was like, all right, so I'll get Jaime. I'll probably skip on the other Lannisters. But I'm happy with this purchase. He's not a must-have figure, but he is a good figure that will go fine with your other Game of Thrones figures, as you can see here. As you can see in my upcoming final pose. Just be careful with the suit as you pose it too. Be careful with the suit and then the straps too as you put the sheets on there. And then the belt, my belt, I gotta get a little bit tighter. I had a hard time getting on the eighth buckle, but I'm gonna mess around with some more. I just wanted to get on there for the review. There I have Jaime with Brienne of Tarth, the two characters that had a big role in the show together. And one of the reasons, I had to get Jaime too, because as I had Tyrion, like I said before, I had to get Jaime to kind of go with her. Um, so I'm saying Jaime, I love the detail on his armor. This cape was not hard to put on at all. It was much easier. I did try the first step that the instructions said, try to put on the stitch, and it just didn't feel right. So it does work better on the actual strap that goes to the shoulder pads, the shoulder polyrones. So it works fine like that. As you can see, it goes down, it drapes down perfectly. It doesn't put too much pressure. So that's a hard plastic. I'd rather put the pressure on the hard plastic than on the actual cloth stitching. The hand, I did have an issue with the hand. I did have to warm up the hand in hot water in order to get the sword in the sword wielding hand. So that's one thing you may have to do: get some hot water or like an air dryer and heat up the hand in order to get the sword in there. When I removed the peg, the hand from the wrist, the peg actually came out. So good thing we had the spare pegs. I could have easily just swapped it out, but the end of the peg had some kind of grease on it. So I didn't want to put that in my mouth in order to pull the hand out the peg. So I just used a new peg since the hole already has some of the grease. This doesn't sound right. Anyways, happy 420, everybody. So yeah, so the figure came out good. Like I said, he looks better in hand. I love the detail in the armor. The articulation in his legs are good. So I can actually probably more likely kind of get some dynamic posing, at least from the waist down, when I try to mess around with him. Like I said, the only negative is just the leather suit. Gotta make sure you put some protection on that. And that's about it. He looks good. Like I said, I'm probably gonna get the other Lannisters, but I'm happy with my Jaime purchase. He's not a must purchase if you are new to the collection or to the line. If you do enjoy the show and you don't mind a Lannister or want to have at least one Lannister in your collection, then I would definitely go the Jaime route. If you don't need a Lannister, then hey, I don't blame you. So if you enjoy the review, people, please hit the like, subscribe button, click that bell notification. And as always, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale.